Welcome back to the Photographer's Podcast. We're kicking off Season 2, continuing to bring you expert insights, stunning locations, and in-depth photography tips to take your skills to the next level. This season, we will be on location in places like Scotland and Casaloma, as well as in-person interviews with master photographers. Here is your host, Randy Nickerson.
Welcome to the Photographer's Podcast. In this episode, we're going to take you on a 10-day tour of Scotland. We're going to start our tour in this beautiful castle called Stirling Castle, which I believe is one of the oldest in Scotland, dates back to the 11th century. There's many buildings that make up this castle, and the grounds are spectacular. So we're going to show you some of that. We're also going to go up to Inverness and over to the island of Skye. So come along, enjoy all the photos, and we're going to give you some tips and tricks along the way. So we finished our tour of Stirling Castle. What a beautiful, beautiful historic building. So I want to talk a little bit about the things that I learned in there and maybe help you if you're ever taking a picture in a historic grounds is do your research. I did a little bit of looking up online to understand that this was one of the oldest castles in Scotland, right from the 11th century. I also like to bring my fisheye lens because I'm a big fan of the ceilings that are in there. You're going to see a whole bunch of ceiling shots that I think they're just spectacular. There's a lot of people in this place, so you have to be patient as you're going through and just find your moments. And there's lots of them. You just have to be very patient. One other thing too is, enjoy the experience because you never know if you're going to get really a fantastic photo. I think I've got a couple, but really you want to take home with you this experience. So our next stop is going to be the church down the road. We're going to show you that too. So we've made our way down to the Church of the Holy Rood. This building is the second oldest building in Stirling, only next to the Stirling Castle that we were just at, which is about 100 years older. This cemetery has some of the oldest stones in Scotland. Some date around 1600s, and that's far older than anything we have in Canada. This church is one of only 3 churches that are left that have seen a coronation, and it was a coronation of a 13-month-old. Now, I read a lot about the stained glass in this building. I'm really hoping that we can get in there and see some beautiful stained glass work, and I really want to show you some of the beautiful architecture that's inside. let's take a walk around Sterling. So we're in part 2 of our trip and we've ended up in Inverness. Right now we're on the River Ness, which is dotted by churches like the one that you can see right over there. So part of our goal while we're here for the next 2 days is to get inside the churches and try to get some of the architecture. Tomorrow we're going on a cruise into Loch Ness, and who knows, maybe we'll find the monster. Let's find out. One of the great things about getting out at night is you come across some beautifully lit buildings like this church right here, and this structure being round is really interesting to take photos of. So I'm going to spend a little bit of time here trying to capture the glass, capture the rocks, and don't be afraid to go out at night. Sometimes there's some of your best photo opportunities. So we've made it all the way to Urquhart Castle, which you can see behind me. It's beautiful. It was destroyed actually by the people that made it because they didn't want the enemy to take it over. Found it very difficult to get some pictures because of so many people here, but I did isolate some areas. And what I found was my iPhone, I think, came and saved the day because it gave me a really ultra wide angle plus some panel shots. So I can't wait to show you what we have at the end of the day. I hope you like them too. So we've just finished a 2.5-hour train ride from Inverness to the idyllic town of Ploughton. Looking around, it's just gorgeous here. The colors of the buildings, this iconic shot behind me, which everybody gets when they come here. The tide is out, so we're standing on what will be an island in a couple of hours. So I want to take advantage of the boats in the water, the reflections. I want to take you along to see what we've had to do to get these shots, and I hope you like what we come up with. There's so many fantastic scenery, that I thought this beautiful idyllic island that's out there in the water. I'm going to take a pano of it, and I think that might be really nice to mount on someone's wall. The last thing I'm really struggling to do is to get the picture of those three boats as a grouping. And every shot I take just isn't doing it for me. I'm going to try to get a little lower to the ground. Clouds might make up the photo for me anyway, because they're pretty beautiful, but just trying to get that spectacular shot that's there, I just don't always know how to get it. Well, it's time to take a break from taking pictures out here in the beautiful town of Plockton. The last thing I want to say is that building in the background, that picture almost takes itself. The clouds are fantastic. You don't always get that. So you got to take the pictures when you can. I hear it's going to rain here for the next few days. So I'm pretty lucky that I was able to get out here and get some really great shots. So we're halfway through our tour of Scotland, and I've made it to my bucket list place, Ellendonnan Castle. We've had a great tour. You see that the light's going to be really hard for me. It's really backlit, so the castle itself shows up like a shadow. But I'm going to try to do some bracketing shots. Maybe because the camera's got some good dynamic range, I can actually, get back some of the details of the castle. But this is a place I've wanted to go to for so long, and here I am. Love it. So we've made it across to the other side of the castle, and what a difference the light makes. I'm going to be able to get some really nice lit shots from this side. A little bit of Photoshop to get rid of all the people, but what a difference. So I think the tip here is that when you're out shooting around, take pictures from both sides. You'd see a big difference. So now we travel across the Skye Bridge to the Isle of Skye. We stop to see some of the world-famous Highland cows, or hairy coos as they are known. We checked out the hiking paradise of the Quillan Range. Here we saw the statue of Colley and Mackenzie, who were the pioneers who climbed up the Quillan Range. There were many photographic opportunities here, and we really wish we could have stayed much longer. So we've made it all the way up to the Isle of Skye, and we're staying at this wonderful hotel called the Viewfield Hotel. We are going to go out on a sailing boat today, which is something I've really never done before. And we're going to sail around and hopefully get some shots of the Old Man of Storr and some of the beautiful landscape here. Again, I don't know how it's going to work out. Never done it before. I'm going to take pictures with both my phone and my camera. And I hope to come back with some really outstanding photos. So I'm here with world famous sailor Jasper out here. Where are we?
We're just off the coast of Skye.
Oh my goodness, off the coast of Skye. Never thought I'd ever be able to do this. And where are we going to go?
We're going to head over to Rasay and have a look at the coast of Rasay, the island opposite Skye, and then we'll see if we can sail back.
Do you think we can get out to the Old Man of Storr, see that?
Yeah, we can certainly try. Yeah, we'll see if we can see it. It might be might be covered in cloud, but if it's not, then yes, we will.
Well, we certainly had some rain and we've had some sun. It's typical out here, isn't it?
Yeah, this is normal for this time of year, certainly.
Well, guys, I'm going to bring you along for the ride and just enjoy.
Absolutely.
Gotten back from our sailing trip out from the bay to over to the side to see the Old Manus store. We did encounter some gale force winds, which made it a pretty exciting sail trip, and rain, so we got a little wet, but it was still so exciting. Behind me is the beautiful, picturesque town of Portree. This is the photo that everybody gets. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take several shots and put them together as a pano. I'm also going to use my iPhone to see if I can get a pano shot using that. We're going to compare the two and see which one is better, if at all. Anyways, looking forward to showing you that. So we're down here at the square in Portree, where we're going to grab the 57A bus to take us all the way around the Island of Skye. It's a great little tip. It's only £9. It's about an hour and 45 minutes, 2-hour bus trip. I'm going to try to get some pictures outside the window. I'm going to try to take some with my iPhone, see if I can get something that will work. But best of all, it's a scouting mission where you can see where you may want to go later and find some spots that you can go to and get the shot that you're really looking for. So we've just gotten back from our round trip around the Isle of Skye. We saw some really beautiful landscapes. So the good news is that bus, you just sit on it, you enjoy big windows, gorgeous. The bad news is you can't get off the bus unless you want to wait for 2 hours for the next bus to get the shot of your dreams, which is everywhere. So you have to live with the fact that you're enjoying your time. And I say that a lot. Most of the time when you're out taking pictures, just enjoy where you are because you never know what you're going to come back with. So we're going to take a little trip around the town of Portree, see if we can get some nice architecture, and I hope you enjoy the pictures we're going to show you. So we're getting to the end of our trip. We have one last major stop to make, and that is us leaving the Isle of Skye on the ferry over to Malag, where we grab the Jacobite steam train, which goes over the Harry Potter Viaduct Bridge. Pretty excited about that. Hopefully with the curve of the train, we might be able to get some shots that are kind of unique. I'd just like to say, you must make a trip to Skye. Such beautiful landscape. Even though it rains every 5 minutes and then it's sunny every 5 minutes, it's such a beautiful place to be. I hope you enjoyed what we've shown you so far. We've got a little bit more to show you. I thought it'd be just fun to come out here on the deck of our ferry from Armandale to Malag. Just look at that beautiful, beautiful scenery behind me. The Scotland is just full of beauty and wonder, and I'm really enjoying taking pictures. I hope you enjoyed what you've seen so far. I'm going to take some panos out here. Going to try to take some with my iPhone too, because the theme of this trip is to compare my iPhone to my Nikon Z8, see if they're similar, and I hope you've enjoyed what you've seen so far. We're in the last little bit of our time here in Speen Bridge. Behind me is the tallest mountain in Scotland called Ben Nevis, and it's a beautiful backdrop for our time here. Actually, there's a path over there where you can walk over to the Commando Monument and to get all the black-faced sheep you want. So I've been shooting today, trying to get some of those sheep in the frame, and it's been a lot of fun. So I hope you enjoyed the photos to this point. Maybe tomorrow we're going to get some night shots from Glasgow. I hope so, depending on the rain. But thanks for following. So we're inside this beautiful church called St. Andrew's. It was consecrated in 1880, and everything is still beautifully intact. It's stunning architecture in here. The doors on the way in were beautiful. The stained glass is magnificent, and the altar is fantastic. So I've taken some pictures, and I'm very happy with the results. So we finished our tour of the small town of Fort William. We found that this town has several beautiful churches in it, and that's something I love to take pictures of, is churches. And another thing, most small towns have a hidden gem, and that would be the St. Andrew's Church here in the town of Fort William. Beautiful stained glass in there, beautiful history. Spent about a half an hour in there getting what I think are some really worthwhile photos. Another thing I'm starting to really like about these towns here in Scotland are the chimneys. The chimneys, I'm kind of getting obsessed with them. I'm taking pictures of chimneys everywhere, which you're going to see, like them or not. The other thing is, when you're in a town like this, get to know the people and ask them where to go. And most of the people here are just really friendly, will talk to you, will help you out. There's a lot of dogs here, if you like dogs, that are friendly, and you can spend some time just relaxing with somebody else's pet. Anyway, so we're going to be going back to the hotel, the Old Pines, with the beautiful backdrop of Ben Nevis. And we're going to get a few more pictures before we head down to Glasgow. So we just made our way back to the final stage of our trip. We're now in Glasgow, and behind me is the Civic building where all the movers and shakers of Glasgow work every day. So some of the takeaways I had on this trip were I brought my 1-400 lens, but I didn't see a lot of bird or wildlife. So I think maybe that was unnecessary for me to bring. When we went on the Jacobite steam train, great experience being on that train. You go over the Harry Potter Bridge, but guess what? You really can't get a shot of the Harry Potter Bridge from the train. So the experience is great, but not for photography. I found that my fisheye lens really came in handy for some of the churches we were in, and the churches by far were outstanding. In Stirling, the castle, the My Lady of Rood Church, St. Andrew's Church, some of the most beautiful places I've ever been in. So the fisheye lens really came in handy there. I did a lot of shooting with my Apple iPhone, the iPhone 13 Max Pro. I'm going to compare it with my Z8 photos just to see if in certain situations the iPhone is just fine. So I think the last takeaway I want to leave you with is if you're coming here for photos, you should get a car. A car will stop you from being frustrated where you can't get out of a bus for that great shot of sheep with the mountain behind it. It gives you a lot more flexibility in where you want to go. Overall, though, what an experience being in Scotland for 10 days. I recommend it to everybody. Thanks for being with me on this show. Everybody, I'll see you in the next episode.